Things first, guys. Welcome to Unwind Design. My name is Kimberly. I'm your instructor. We're going to start off first with what we have in front of us. We have an 11 by 14 size canvas board. Then we have our normal brushes. We are using our large background brush. Your guys's is a little bit colorful. Mine, I misplaced it, so I'm using this one. Next, we have our square brush, same one we use every single time, 5/8, nice and small. Then we have our round tip brush. This is our number 5 brush. And we have a detail liner brush, which is the fine brush that's going to help us do all the tiny little details, right? Then we have our water, our towel. Don't forget to have that, and our hair dryer. Okay. We do go paint layers, so we want to make sure that we can paint the back layer before we move on to the front layer or the top layer. Our colors are going to be our primary colors, blue, red, and yellow. Our shadow color, black. Our highlight color, white. And our extra wild card color, which is our brown. So we're going to be moving that off to the side, making sure that that's nice and ready. And we're going to be starting off with the back. So our paint, like always, is really sticky. We want to make it a soft, creamy, sour cream consistency or yogurt consistency. This is like toothpaste. It's really sticky. So we want to make sure we can spread it out, make sure that it lasts longer by adding a little bit of water. So we're going to be starting off first, like I said, with our large background brush. Come in. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this water. And we are going to start with our white. I like to use the corners in case I want to use some later. Okay, and we're going to apply a base coat. So that means we're going to apply the white on top of the white so that when we add our other colors, they can blend in nicely and we get a really nice effect. So we're going to come in and we're just going to add some white right in the middle. We're going to start to curve this around, come back with a little bit more of this water and this white, and let's start adding that base coat. This is going to help to brighten out our blue once we add it so that it can blend better with the background. You can even see the glossiness. You see that? Oh, I thought I had blood on my finger for a second. It's just paint. Sorry. I was like, ah, what happened? But yeah. All right. So we have some of that white right there. We're starting off with that. And then we're going to pick up just a little drop of this blue and we're going to start to mix it into our white so we can get a very soft baby bluish color around. Okay, so we're starting to form sort of like an aura around this. And as we start to go out towards the sides, we start to add a little bit more blue to get it just a little bit darker. Also, instead of doing your brush in a wide position, you can use your brush in the thinner position to start getting some thinner lines. You see that? So you come in, start getting some thinner lines and start creating these scratches, creating almost like a ripple effect, like when you drop a pebble in the water and you start to get these ripples around. That's what we're trying to create here, a ripple effect going all the way around. There we go. And we're going to start to come down. Little by little, we start to implement more of this blue. And we are going to go about maybe 4 fingers from the bottom up. We're going to paint up to this line down here. Again, we're adding a little bit more of that dark blue. Again, we're creating these ripples. You could even paint it, the whole thing sideways like that if you want. Have your brush at an angle the whole time. Okay, come back with a little bit more of that dark blue. You could even come in with a little bit more of that white. And it goes darker and darker as you get closer to the edges. Let me do that real quick, just so I can show you the other color we're going to be using. You can also pick up a little bit of this blue. In this baby blue color that you have here, go ahead and add a little bit of yellow to that. And that's going to give us a very light minty green color. So blue, white, and yellow gives us almost like a turquoise teal color. See? Really pretty color, minty. And we can add that green color inside this section also so that it can begin to give us a more diverse palette on our canvas. So again, it starts to mix it up. In other words, we start to mix it up and add more variety. And we're going to keep this up, just adding to this, maybe adding more blue at the edge. And we're just going to keep it up all around. So from working on our sky, we are going to be doing the same thing here. We're going to come into the middle and we're going to act like the moon is creating a reflection into the ground. So we're adding a little bit of that lime, that minty green, which was blue, white, and yellow. And we are going to create a little bit of a highlight section right in the middle. You see that? Side to side, not wide ways, the thin way. Coming back in with a little bit more yellow, a little bit more white. And then off to the sides, we're going to start to get a little bit darker and darker until we get that dark blue off of the edges. Moving on, we're going to be working on the moon now. We are going to start off first with our same round tip brush, and we're going to be mixing some red and yellow together. Okay, so we're starting off with some red and yellow. And we're going to start shaping that moon. The more red you add to that, the darker it's going to get. The more yellow you add, the lighter it's going to get. So let's go ahead and start forming our moon here. And we're also going to make it with ripples, but on the inside. Okay, so there we go. From here, we're going to continue to get some of that red and yellow, and we're just going to add some ripples inside. You could go back and forth with both colors. Okay, you do want to still leave some white beneath it so that it looks like there's a lot of brightness coming from behind the moon. Okay, and this is the perfect time for you guys to make this nice and round. If maybe you're like me and your circles always come out crooked, this is the best time to fix that. You could even come back with a little bit of that white and mix some white in there too if you want to add a little bit of white in there. Come back with your white and mix that up. Again, we're coming in with some of that orange. If you make it too bright, you can always come back with some more of that orange and that yellow and darken it up again. Then down from the bottom, this section over here, we're going to go in and paint in our trunk of our tree. So we're going to pick up a little bit of this round tip. We're picking up some water and some black. Again, if you're still working on the moon, take your time, no pressure. We're going to use the same brush to make the bottom of the trunk of our tree. This is how our tree is going to look. We're going to come off from the right-hand side. And we're going to draw our tree going up. Okay. From here, you can do several entrances to the center and just join them as you start to move up. You see that? From here, we're going to do our branches a little bit high. We're going to start off with one. We're going to go off to the side. There's another and another. If you want to make thin lines, don't push too hard on your brush. If you want to make thick lines, push heavy. And there we go. We're trying to get all these little branches. We're going to add another branch right here. There we go. And we're sort of adding the base. This is what you call the base of the tree before we go in and we start to add the rest of it. If you want to grab a little bit of white and a little bit of brown with that same brush, my brown is kind of dry, so white, brown. We can just scratch that up the tree a little bit to start creating the look of wood upwards. You see that? Just scratch it. Even if you have the black still wet, it'll mix in with the brown a little bit and give it more of a natural look. All right, guys. So from here, we are going to be using our round tip brush again. And we're going to be using some orange first. So let's try to get an orange that's right in the middle. If you guys are done, let's try to finish up real quick. And we're going to be picking up our round tip brush, our number 5. Making a little bit of that orange, some of that yellow and red together. Okay, we're going to start off right in the middle. It's going to be an orange that's right in the center. And we're going to start off right here on top. And we're going to start to curve it around. So we're just adding these dabs to start going around the moon. And as we start going around, it starts to get a little wider. See that, how my dots are getting a little bit wider? My space here is getting a little wider. We're going to start to go up. Here we're going to go a little bit down. And that's how we're going to start to form this. And from here, we're going to start to form the top of our tree. So again, it's just some plain orange. Okay, and we're going to continue that all the way across. Let's keep it up. We're going to be moving on to the top part here. We're going to be adding some white. We're going to start to make it look as if the moonlight is hitting the top of the tree by adding a couple of white dots just up the top, wherever you think the moonlight would be hitting. Right there, right? Wherever the moon is hitting at, we can add a little bit of white. Right here, we're going to come in. We're going to start to add a little bit more, start to make it a little bit brighter. You can put it wherever you left some spaces of blue beneath. So we're going to be adding the white on the top, and towards the bottom, I'm going to pick up this dark red that I made, or the pink or red or whatever color I'm using. And we're going to start to leave red marks underneath. So let's come in, let's add some of this red, make it nice and thick. We're going to come in, we're adding some red below, giving it an effect of there being a shadow down here. And we're starting to give it some more character and personality. It's like, whoa there, tree, you're a little too fancy, aren't you, with those different colors on there. Awesome. So we're adding some red. Once you're done with the red and the yellow and all of that, what we have left to do is to just add some petals towards the bottom. Okay, so let me zoom out so you guys can see that a little better. We're going to come in and apply some red petals and some orange petals on the ground as if they fell on top of this. As if they fell and they're piling on top of the tree there. Then you're going to come back with that yellow and start adding some orange on there, or some yellow petals. Look at how pretty that's looking. Oh, I love it when all my colors get mixed together. Coming in with some of that orange. Look at how pretty that's looking. If you want it more vibrant, add some brighter yellow over the top, and that way it dries nice and thick and bright over the top of it. Perfect. And the final thing you have left to do besides your signature is adding some stars. Do you want to add some stars on there? Do you want to add some falling stars? Do you want to be a little creative with that? Again, it's just going to be with our liner brush. We're picking up some of this white. And we're just leaving some dots around in the sky in the background. So again, coming in, leaving some dots around for my sky. If you're interested in making sparkly stars, all you do is make a cross and a small X inside. If you're interested in making falling stars, you just press and lightly pull to the direction as to where the star is falling from. And that's it. All right, guys. So once you are done with this, I decided to put some stars. I made some stars a little sparkly. I also made a couple of falling stars up on top. The falling stars are basically just a dot, and then you pull a line. That's basically it, 2 falling stars. And I made a bunch of sparkly stars. After this, all you need is your brush, your signature with your little brush. Here we go. And then after this, you're done. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to check out our videos on our website at www.unwindanddesign.org.